In this video, we'll talk about RGB LEDs. So RGB LED is just one LED which has three different LEDs built into it. It has a red, green, and blue. So these are the primary colors. So if you are into drawing, if you're an artist, like probably if you do painting, you would know how to mix colors and the color theory and things like that. So we in electronics, there are two different color systems we use. Like one is called the RGB system, so which is often used for screens and displays and things like that. So you mix three different colors and then you create different colors. So based on like at what intensity you mix, you either get like say nothing. So when you don't mix any color, it is black. When you mix all colors in the same proportion, it is gray. But if you have the maximum of everything, then it produces the white color. So you can produce pretty much any color in the spectrum using these things. So there's also another thing called CMYK. So this really depends on the system, like how you what kind of background you have. So here in a screen, you can have the background is black, so you will have to add more colors, so you're just adding colors. This is called an additive method. And then there's called a subtractive method where we use something called CMYK: cyan, magenta, yellow, and key. Key stands for like black. So if you take a white paper, if you print on a white paper, so you will use these colors to print those. So if you have an idea, like say how you get the printer cartridges, so now you have the white paper which is bright, and then you will have to remove colors from those, and that's why we use these colors instead to remove those colors and then like get the color like what we want. And if we wanted to make it darker, then we add like more of key, which is black, and then like we kind of reduce the saturation, or like we reduce the colors intensity. So we do something like that. So that is how in general like things work for RGB for displays, and then for prints we use CMYK. So here we will talk about an LED. So here we are going to use a principle very similar to RGB, which is used in the displays and things like that. So here, the sensor shown here, like this is the typical sensor like what we'll get in the kit, and sometimes you may just have the LED with 4 leads. One of those is a ground and the other one is for RGB. So here, if you have a module like this, so you will have RGB and then like you will have a ground. So ground has to be connected to the ground, RGB will be connected to 3 different pins, and those 3 different pins we will apply anything between 0 and 255. So this is an 8-bit system. So just to mimic that, we are using these numbers. So we'll pass on an integer somewhere between 0 to 255, and then based on that, like you will get output. So here we go to the Tinkerboard evaluation. So if we have something like this, like you will have to connect the resistors something around like 220 volts or something like that to in series with these leads, so that like you reduce the current like that is flowing through the LED. And these are the current limiting resistors, as you already know. You can connect anything between 100 to 330 ohms. So this is a typical circuit. Like you can also do this in Tinkercad, but we are going to do it in the real hardware. In this case, I'm not going to type out the entire program. So I have already shared the code, the file that will be directly opened up in Arduino IDE. I'm just going to open that file and then like run it and see how that works. And like maybe before that we'll also have to do the circuit. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up the sketch. RGB LED. So here is the sketch. I'm not going to use everything, so we are going to use analog write, and so here this is the analog write function. So RGB color and then the light value. So these are the pins I'm going to use: 11, 10 and 9, 9, 10, 11. So I'm going to use those. And here in this we are using the analog write function, so we use pulse width modulation to kind of adjust the intensity, and then we set them as output, so that is another thing. And 0 to 255, it is going to just mimic that. So 255 is the maximum intensity, so this is going to be red color, this is going to be green color, and this is going to be the blue color. So when you mix green and blue, you get cyan, and when you mix red and blue, you get magenta. And then when you mix red and green, you get yellow, and then when you mix everything in the maximum, so you get white. So I'm just going to produce these colors. So you can literally do any color you want, just you need to know at what proportions you will have to mix. So it can be a number anywhere between 0 and 255. So you can do that and then like adjust the intensities and then produce the color you want. So I'm just going to do that. Before that, I will have to do the wiring here. So let me go to, here's the board, and I have connected I'm not sure if you can clearly see that. Like say this is my unit, the module with the RGB, so it has the resistors. If you see closely, there are some SMD, surface mount components in there, like resistor components, so I just have to wire them. That is sufficient. So I'm taking 4 jumper wires, so let me place them here. Black I'm going to connect to the ground, so the last pin is the ground pin, so I'm going to take that and then connect them to ground. And the 3 pins I will be using is 9, 10, 11, right? 9. I will connect that 9 to blue light, so that is going to be the blue. And then I'm going the reverse, so 10 is going to be connected to green. And then the last one is going to be connected to 11. So that is done. I'm going to run the program. Okay, before that I don't want it to do the same thing again. I've just closed that. Just make sure, for some reason it chooses Arduino Mega as my default board, so I'll just have to make sure that it's not Arduino Mega. Arduino Uno is connected, so Arduino Uno on COM port 5, just make sure that is there. Then I'll just compile it first. Oh, my bad, I don't think you're seeing what I'm doing here. Here we go. So I'm just checking. I closed the sketch I opened early on, and then for some reason, again, like the default, like the board was the Arduino Mega, it was selected for some reason, but like I've changed that back into Arduino Uno, and make sure you're connected Arduino Uno to the COM port actually. So you see this actually, so this display indicates that the Arduino Uno board is connected to COM port 5. So I've made sure that as well. So I've compiled it now. So I'm just running it. So I hope you see the colors here. So it is blinking really fast. So it is printing, so blinking red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, and then white. So you do see all those colors. So this is what you will have to do. The next assignment question for you is going to be to eliminate 5 favorite hues. So there is a difference between color and hue. all hues are colors, but not all colors are hues. So black is not considered a hue, and white is not considered a hue, or like any gray, any shades of gray are not considered hue. So hues are just like the colors, like what you usually see in the color wheel. So just pick 5 of those, and if you search in the internet, or if you are good at Photoshop, you can like kind of use the color wheel and then just pick and choose which color you like and get at what proportions you will have to mix red, blue and green, and then type in those numbers, and you can run the program and then generate all those 5 colors, and then like have the code added, and then like add a photo of those 5 colors, 5 individual colors, to your assignment, and that will be question number 10 or 11, I'm not sure. So we had question 8, 9 and 10. Yeah, this is 10, question 10. So you can do that, and that'll be your assignment question 3.10, and see you in the next video.